Turning to our series Insta Parents, where you can hear a little buddy here. We're getting parenting tips from experts on Instagram this morning. We're looking at how to handle fussy eaters. We can all relate to that. The co-founders of Feeding Littles will join us in just a moment, but first let's see what Diane has learned firsthand. I mean, you've got your hands full.
Exactly, literally and figuratively. So don't let this innocent face fool you. My son used to eat everything. Now he pushes food aside, he spits it out. Sometimes he'll even throw it. So how do you foster good eating habits without a fight at mealtime? Here's what Feeding Littles showed me. Ready? Feeding a baby can be frustrating, chaotic, even downright messy.
Good girls.
And it's hard not to wonder, am I doing this right? Now, nearly 500,000 followers are finding their answers on Instagram, thanks to pediatric nutritionist Megan McNamee and occupational therapist Judy Delaware, aka Feeding Littles.
The mission of Feeding Littles is to provide parents and caregivers worldwide with content and information and support to help them feed their kids so that they raise children that love mealtime, that love eating all types of foods, and have a healthy relationship with food.
Megan and Judy, both moms themselves, say a good time to start solids is when baby shows interest in food and can sit up with minimal assistance, usually around 6 months. Then there's the question of what to feed them.
How do you know what to introduce when you first start that process?
There's not one perfect food to introduce. A lot of parents like avocado, sweet potato, and banana, and we actually teach a methodology by which parents let babies feed themselves from the start. So we're talking about longer strips of food that baby can hold on to and grab with their hand and bring to their mouth.
But Megan says it's not just what we feed babies, but also how we feed them that's important.
What is intuitive eating?
So intuitive eating is essentially trusting our body's innate signals of hunger and fullness to know when to start eating and when to stop and what foods feel best on our bodies. And that's a skill that so many adults don't have. And we want our children to never lose that skill.
Just as we were talking about listening to your baby, mine sounded his alarm
Another one is that they have to have
right in the middle of our interview.
We've got some company.
And made it clear he was ready for lunch.
Is that they have to have teeth.
The first challenge, getting my soon-to-be one-year-old to drink through a straw, something I've been struggling with.
Too much. Okay, so we're going to use Mr. Juice Beer, and he says, I want more. So I'm going to squeeze a little bit, and he's going to suck. And he's already learned, so I'm not even having to squeeze it anymore. Do you see that?
He has never done this before.
Next, Judy piques his interest with avocado, exposing another obstacle. This food he once loved, he now spits out.
So what's the strategy to reintroduce a food that they start to reject?
We could just turn this into more of a puree for him, like a dip.
Later in the day, I gave it a shot.
You ate the avocado. Good job.
To get baby to stop throwing food, Judy says don't react and don't pick it up.
Just try to be calm with your face. Don't get too excited.
Finally, once your baby signals they're full, end the meal on a high note by letting them wash their own hands.
Good job, buddy.
He absolutely loved that part. And Megan and Judy say that's the point. Make mealtime fun. So try different foods on different utensils or in different cups. If you don't want your kid to obsess over sugar, treat it like any other food. Don't use it as a reward. And it can take up to 30 exposures before they start eating a food. So if they don't eat it today, just keep trying.
All right. Thank you. Great advice to you for everybody here. We're going to bring in Megan McNamee and Judy Delaware. They're the co-founders of Feeding Littles. You guys gave such great advice to Diane. We have more questions for you right now. Come on over and meet our two first new eaters. We have Mia and we have Violet, as you who both seem very happy with their meals. We have avocado. We've got a little pasta and squash over there. They get messy, obviously. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Just remember this, that if they can't feel it in their hands, they won't put it in their mouth. So the more that they can map their own mouths and learn about the quadrants of their mouth, the better eaters they're going to become. So the more availability they have to use their hands, they're going to become better eaters. That's where the magic comes in.
It's amazing too. They're going for it with all of these new foods, different textures.
They look great.
That's the way it should be. However, we've got Benjamin over there, who is a great eater, as you can see. But sometimes, I know this firsthand, kids just will not eat what you put on the plate. I grew up in a family where you had to clear your plate or you did not get up from the table. What do you say to that?
Well, essentially, we want our children to continue to trust their innate senses of hunger and fullness. I'm sure you've experienced this before, where you have stopped listening to those signals, maybe on Thanksgiving or another big holiday. But in general, we want our kids to hear that. We want them to know when they're hungry and full.
And healthy eaters.
Exactly, so that they can grow up to trust their bodies and know what they need.
That's great. Any advice for these guys who are all sort of navigating the new food terrain?
Rock stars.
Just keep going.
Keep trying.
Keep going.
Don't
keep
give up.
trying new things.
Don't give
Well,
up.
thank you, Mia. Thank you, Benjamin. And thank you, Miss Violet. Future television stars, all of them. And you guys can get more amazing tips from Megan, from Judy on our website.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.